Hello and welcome in. We'll figure out a name to this eventually. My name is Reagan. I'm here with.
Andrew.
There we go. He said his name on cue. That's incredible. He's a professional. He just told me this. We've talked for like a whole hour, and now he knows everything that he's doing. Basically, what we're doing is opening Fellowship of the Ring will be in chapter 1. So if you haven't read that already, you should go and read that. It's a good book.
Yes.
Us talking about it is not a good representation of the book itself.
Oh my goodness, that is such an understatement.
Yes. So it is a beautiful piece of work that you should read. Yes, it's long-winded, but it's kind of good. And we haven't even hit the long-winded bit yet.
No,
So
it's not long.
it is long-winded.
I
I didn't say it was bad.
know.
It can be long-winded and good.
Maybe sometimes.
There's a purpose for it.
Well, yes.
It's just long.
Well, okay.
Yeah. It's a compliment. Trust. It's really a compliment.
Okay.
But basically, I'm going to break this off into brief explanations of the actual story that happens, and then different notes that we have on why it's important and like what is the book saying basically, and what is it kind of pointing towards. So, book opens with just a statement that Bilbo is 111, 111th birthday. is what's coming.
11D1.
Yeah, and that's an important number, apparently.
Yeah.
He's one of the more aged of the hobbits, and so that's pretty impressive. There are also mentions that he doesn't look his age,
Yes.
which comes back up later in the chapter and comes back up even in chapter 2. It ends up happening to Frodo as well. He's not aging naturally, and that's kind of the first thing that I noticed is the ring extends his lifespan,
Yeah.
which is against nature.
Yes.
And things that are against nature are bad.
Yeah.
Is I think a Tolkien staple.
The ring is a
something.
path to many abilities hobbits consider to be unnatural.
Yes. Well, they are unnatural.
Yes.
Yes, like anyone considers them to be unnatural.
Yeah.
But that which is against nature will be paid for. And I think that's a lesson that you'll see, especially I'm thinking Two Towers, right? Especially with the whole Ent thing. That theme is kind of set up at the very beginning of, hey, he has an unnatural life. It doesn't go that well for him, and he ends up suffering for it even later on.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on?
This, I don't want to say too much because
Okay.
it's sort of a big part in chapter 2. But
Fair enough. I don't know.
Bilbo isn't even like trying to exploit the ring for this power.
Yeah.
Like he thinks it's cool he's living long, even though he's like, when he talks to Gandalf, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
He says, "This isn't all it's cracked up to be. I feel wrong."
Mm-hmm.
But you see Bilbo's innocence, even with the ring's corruption. Like
Mm-hmm.
Bilbo, being a good dude, is helping him
Yeah.
to resist the ring.
Yeah.
But he's still under the ring's thumb in a lot of ways. And this unnaturally prolonged lifespan is really brilliant foreshadowing of several things, like we're talking about, but I think especially for Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just really impressed with how Tolkien is setting that up.
I would describe Gollum as thin and stretched, sort of like
Yeah.
butter scraped over too much bread.
Oh my goodness. Poor little
mean-
freak.
Yeah, well, that was his choice, right?
Yeah.
And even here, I don't know that it's malicious. I don't know that Bilbo knows that the ring is what's doing it to him.
He specifically doesn't know.
Yeah. It's just kind of a thing. Like he happens to have a long life, and he also happens to have a ring.
Yeah.
And so it's not like he's a bad person. It's just that he is falling into a trap of what the ring is, which is fascinating. What do you think the ring stands for? How would you like explain that?
There's this great YouTube channel called Girl Next Gondor.
Oh my.
Power is a big part of it.
Yeah.
So like if you're going to just give a simple answer,
Mm-hmm.
I think power is probably the best answer you could give.
Yeah.
You were mentioning the connection to like Saruman, his technology earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another big thing. Is it's an unnatural technology. It's a perversion of nature.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not even just power by itself, but a power that you desire to use.
Mhm.
Something that is even sort of an out in some ways. Like you can see that, and we'll talk about this more in chapter 2.
Okay.
But Bilbo does use the ring as like an easy way out of encountering the Sackville Bagginses.
Yes, he does.
So in that way, it's like sort of an easy way out for
Mhm.
some things. I think there's probably something to that too.
Yeah, I think if I were to sum it up, I would just call it temptation.
That's a good
Right.
good way to summarize it.
It's a very spiritualized word to
Yeah.
use for that, but I think that's what it is because it's like,
Especially we see the tension between Frodo and Gollum later on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's not an allegory for any particular thing, but you can look at it in so many ways of like what it represents. It represents the thing you shouldn't use, but the thing you want to use.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's at its basic level what it is. For Bilbo, it's the easy way out. He shouldn't use it. He should just talk to his relatives, but he doesn't. And so
Yeah.
he gets out of it. He should just go on a trip, but he doesn't. He tricks everybody and uses the ring to disappear. He could just up and go, but he does. He has to make a point to people. Well, he shouldn't really have done that. And even some of the things you see later in the chapter, he's not very nice to the people who were at the party or after the party, at least to
We'll
my
talk
reading.
about that some more.
Yeah, which they kind of deserve it, but also, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't fit with the picture of the kindly old man that he's supposed to be when he's just like making fun of people.
Interesting.
And,
Okay, I have some thoughts about that.
yeah, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But the ring is so important. I mean, to the series as a whole, to the book as a whole. I mean, it's named after it.
Yes.
And that becomes the driving force is this is such a bad thing. We shouldn't be using it. We have to get rid of it. And that's something that Bilbo evidences in his actions because, the ring is what's horrible for him at the end of all.
Yes.
So Bilbo is 111, and he shouldn't be. Basically, I think that's kind
Or
of
at
the
least
point.
not so spry at such an age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe there's an implication he shouldn't have made it to 111 because he's old.
Yeah.
He's not as old as some. There's the old gaffer and there's the couple of other old guys, but like he's pretty up there,
Yeah.
and that was unusual for hobbits to make it to 110, 120, definitely 130.
Yeah.
That's their maximum. So there may be an implication there. I don't know. I would argue that there was,
Maybe.
but I've been
I
known
think
to
that may
argue
be
some things.
pushing the envelope a little too
Yeah.
far.
Could be. But Bilbo has adopted Frodo. That's like the
Yes.
next big thing that happens, and you're told
Yes.
about that in the
Other big important setup moment. Yeah.
other conversation that happens with it's the gaffer and some other people
Yes.
that the gaffer doesn't like very much, which is great. Of course, he won't say it to them because he's British, but he has to like just imply it to them. Just think about it in his own head, and that's very interesting. That he gives Frodo a backstory.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he needs some kind of explanation.
He does. I mean, it could have just said, "Hey, his parents died,"
Mm-hmm.
but instead, there's this whole long bit about how they drown. It's the water thing. The hobbits were afraid of the water. They wouldn't go out on the water, and so they got complacent. Frodo's parents did go out on the water, and they drowned, and so Frodo gets sucked back into Bag End, and he gets complacent with all the rest
Probably
of them.
something there.
Yeah, his story like the reason he's under Bilbo's influence is because of water. The whole reason that he goes on the trip is because the hobbits have settled down, and because he settled down with Bilbo because of the water. And the whole end point of the book is getting him over his fear of water, so that he crosses and actually goes into.
You
the
could
West.
summarize it that way.
Yeah, it's broad overgeneralization, but his story does begin with the water and it ends with the water, and that's interesting.
There's probably
to me.
something there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very biblical.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, it's the way I have it written in my notes
Ooh.
is the water. This is very biblical. The water starts the death of his old life under his parents, And the water at the end of the book will also be the deliverance into a new life.
Yeah.
From the old into the new, which is, if you know Christianity, that's just the idea of baptism, is the death of the old, the beginning of the new. And so Frodo kind of symbolizes that, but he goes on a really long journey during that time to come to the realization of what he should be doing on the other side, which is fascinating.
It is. Okay, I like that. I like that.
It's an allegory, basically. That's
no!
what we're saying. That's what it is, obviously.
No, there's patterns.
Yes.
That's
themes.
Yes.
Yeah. That water, I think water continues to be symbolic for life-altering decisions.
Yeah.
In the series.
Well,
there's a
pay
watcher
attention
in
to
the
that.
water who seals them into Moria. Like, I mean, that's one thing that comes to my mind. Maybe that's too much, but maybe that's also, there's something there. So I'll be interested to track that throughout and keep coming back to that theme and see if it's actually as big a theme as I think it is.
One thing I want to mention.
Yes.
It's definitely a sidetrack here.
Okay. Well,
but it's just a quick thing to mention before we get in too deep.
Okay.
Which
to
is
the water.
I love
deep, like the water.
Stop this.
You can call it the deep. Anyway.
One thing I love in this chapter that is, I think, fairly unique just to this chapter, or at least the quantity of how much this happens. Here's the thing that happens. The thing I'm trying to say is I love all the parenthetical comments.
Yeah. It's true.
Tolkien says, I want to amuse people some, and he's amusing me here. I think is that pleasant, it just adds to that whole feel of the Shire, which is a bunch of silly, fairly innocent people.
Yeah.
Just all this like haphazard guessing about Bilbo, and the parenthetical comments just add a little bit of whimsy or
familiarity on. It's like Tolkien
it's
knows
like I'm
this
letting
place.
you in on a secret here.
Yeah. He has an intimate knowledge of this place. Like, I know he's created it, but the place that he's discovered, apparently, it's almost like this is where he's comfortable, because after this, you kind of drop that.
Yeah.
I think
it might be unique to this chapter.
Yeah.
At least how much it's happening is.
Yeah.
It's just very pleasant and makes you smile.
It is,
which is
interesting.
Appropriate for this chapter.
Yeah. This is a chapter of joy, mostly.
Joy with a little bit of shadows on the horizon. Yeah.
There's a question there. So there's a lot that's a big deal that's made about Bilbo's birthday celebration coming up. He'll mention Bilbo is 111 and then talk about Frodo's parents drowning, and then mention that there's a party that's coming up, and then mention, here are people who are arriving for the party. Gandalf's here. And then he'll go back to like party imagery, and he kind of flashes back and forth between lighthearted and serious things, which is interesting.
Yeah. The first chapter, he's very, I need a more specific word, but he's very artful in like how he's like just taking us forward or backward in broad sweeps through time.
Yeah.
Either through characters in the narrative or in just the narrative itself. And you just, these broad strokes with little details thrown in, you get a very nice picture of just the people generally, and even specifically that you're dealing with. And then can transition beautifully into these conversations, and then move out when he needs to. Just, it's a very, very excellently structured introductory first chapter.
A competent individual, I think he is.
Yes.
Potentially.
He is.
It's not up for debate. He is. It kind of reminds me. Have you read Wheel of Time?
I've read.
Are you the one who's like
2 of them?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Including the
prologue.
The prologue book.
Oh, you wrote that after book 11.
Yeah. Well, I figured something like that.
Okay, you should have read the first 2.
Yeah. So I've read Wheel of Time.
No. No. I've only read half of Wheel of Time, which is 7 books. So
Gotcha.
Longer than Lord of the Rings.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, what a crazy series. But one thing I really like about that series is the way the books open is it's such a cool opening. The first chapter of every book is like the wheel turns as the wheel wheels, ages come and pass, legends become, or history becomes legend, legend becomes myth, and even myth fades into oblivion before the wheel turns around again. And then it's like this very broad overarching picture of time is the first paragraph. The second paragraph always talks about the wind, and the wind comes in, and the wind blows through the mountains, or it blows through the desert, or it blows through like whatever location that you're looking at.
Interesting.
And it's this very wide overarching view of like architecture and people and language and like all these things that are happening. And then the third paragraph actually introduces you to the person. And it's this cool way of like being cosmic and then being geographical and then being personal and coming in. And Tolkien just kind of does that, but then like keeps on zooming back out and then back in, which is cool. It's just a unique way of
contrast.
doing
That's a neat formula for Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time is fast. I should read more of it, but now I'm reading Lord
now
of the
you're
Rings.
reading this.
Yes, Lord of the Wheel of Time. That's
crazy.
That would be a great series.
I don't know.
Frodo meets Rand, and then probably gets burned as a heretic. Or Men can't do magic. That's the Wheel of Time bit. And the ring is
remember
magic.
that. I do remember that.
Great few books that I have read. I hope the rest is also good. So Bilbo's birthday comes around. This time when he mentions it, the second time, he mentions the date, which is September 22nd.
Yes.
Hobbit Day.
Yes.
Do you know why September 22nd is?
For Frodo. No.
I don't either. I just feel like there's something.
Okay, there probably is.
Yeah, I looked it up. September 22nd is apparently 100 days even from the end of the year.
Oh.
Which is interesting. And September is traditionally, it's associated with, I think I saw East Orthodox, like the East Orthodox calendar does something in September. I'm not East Orthodox. I don't really know. I didn't look into that. It's just relevant. September is also the moment of the change between summer and fall.
That's
right.
If I were to put my money on anything, it'd be on that being an explanation for that date.
Yeah, well, that at least for the month. I don't know why 22nd especially.
Sure enough.
But I think the 100 days from the end of the year might be something that it's like a countdown. It's like this countdown has started, right? Spring and summer. When you're comparing it even to a person's life, spring is the beginning, summer is the prime of life, and then fall is like the gradual decline into winter, which is nothing that's good. Summer is the hottest and the most beautiful and the most active part of life, whereas we've gone past that. With Bilbo, metaphorically, we've gone past that, a long way past that.
Oh yeah.
And so he's starting into his fall, into his winter period where everything is going to shut down. And so it's like, it's just a cool symbology moment for that. I think that's probably intentional. And also for Frodo, like it's he's 33, which is coming of age, but he's not really going into the prime of his life. He's going into what's going to be the worst period of his life, which is sitting at home until he finally goes on a quest that's going to ruin everything else for him. Right.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, there's a reason that the book time jumps between Frodo being 33 and Frodo being 50.
Yeah.
Because nothing happens. And then his life just like goes down the gutter, essentially. And so
it's a very negative way of looking at it.
It is, but it's a way of looking
not
at it.
Entirely wrong.
No. And so I think
it is going to be very hard for him.
Yeah. It's a transition point for Bilbo very clearly. I think it's also a transition point for Frodo, even though he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. Well, like, yay, I'm of age. And then we're going to...
What do you do with that?
We're going to wait. This is him coming into his prime, and then maybe when he finally leaves, maybe that's autumn of sorts.
Yeah, well, it definitely is. But even in the meantime, it's 17 years, 33 to 50, and he just doesn't do anything noteworthy. Because Tolkien just kind of skips it. It's just, he throws a party every year, and that's kind of all that there is.
It's the innocent years.
Yeah. So I think there's an emptiness to that is manifested by the loss of Bilbo. He doesn't have Bilbo anymore, and now he wants to go and look for Bilbo. He mentions it a couple times in this chapter. I wanted to go with him.
Yes.
And then by the time we actually get to chapter 2, that monotony has set in, and he's thinking about leaving, and whatever that might be. And so you see this picture. I do think it's symbolic of both. You could argue
there's emptiness there.
Yeah.
It's not the story of Frodo having birthday parties.
No,
the story
that's kind
of
of boring.
It's a story of him going on a very difficult quest.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't have gotten as much out of a story about him throwing little birthday parties.
Yeah, and it's a quest that starts because Bilbo leaves him everything, including the ring.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the moment of transition where Frodo becomes the main character.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very. It's sort of, this makes it sound bad, but it is a ham-fisted imagery there.
Yeah.
Frodo's of age now. All right, he's getting the ring. Yeah.
All right, that's it.
So it's well done. But it's not like overly complicated.
Yeah. You can make it overly complicated.
Yeah. So someone might. I don't know.
That's crazy. You make things overly complicated all the time. This is wild. So there's a celebration. Gandalf arrives and a bunch of dwarves.
Yes.
Do you have things to say on Gandalf?
Nothing too much yet.
Cool.
Two things though. Two short things.
Nothing too much. Just two things. Okay.
Yeah. Later, I'll be talking a lot about this guy.
Fair enough.
But
Gandalf is pretty cool.
Everything's been very mundane so far.
Yes.
We haven't even seen anything magical with the ring yet.
Yes.
You start reading about Gandalf's fireworks, and everyone's like, "Whoa, we haven't seen something like this in a long time." And last time, it was also this guy. Yeah. If there's like big things being foreshadowed, like the powers of the ring and the powers of Gandalf, sort of being built up in a little bit of way. Gandalf has this mastery over fire to some extent, and here it's just fun and games.
Yeah.
But it's also like, they have like formations of like a phalanx of spear soldiers going out.
Yeah.
And then the dragon. Like, that's not normally what fireworks do. And that's something we can appreciate. Well, even the original readers could appreciate that maybe the hobbits couldn't. It's like, this guy isn't just a firework maker, you know?
Pretty cool.
And if you read The Hobbit, you're like, yeah, no way.
Yeah, and there's even a line, because that's in the party itself, right? There's a line when he's being introduced going into Bag End before the party even starts. It's on page 48 of real versions. It was Gandalf, the wizard whose fame in the Shire was due mainly to his skill with fires, smokes, and lights. His real business was far more difficult and dangerous, but the Shire folk knew nothing about it. And so there's an implication there of who Gandalf is.
Yeah.
It is far beyond what he's being given credit for. Did you have a second Gandalf thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me think of another small thing I could say, which is, it's there's a line that isn't in this book or in The Hobbit that's in the Hobbit movie, which is Gandalf tells Galadriel,
like the live action,
action Hobbit movie,
not the animated.
Okay,
Just checking.
But Galadriel asks Gandalf, "Why do you hang out with hobbits all the time?" Basically, is I found it's not the great deeds that keep evil at bay, but the small acts of kindness. I think you can. Tolkien never wrote that specifically, as far as I remember, but it's something that's definitely
sounds pretty legitimate.
It's informed by how Gandalf behaves, which is he's this really great, powerful wizard, but he loves hanging out with hobbits, and he'll pick out some friends, like the old Took. You get little allusions to that. Who knows what he was doing with that guy? But in the Hobbit, it says Gandalf would come in every once in a while and send hobbits on adventures and come back.
So basically, Gandalf is
he's one of the closer parallels. But yeah, it's neat seeing he's this really great, powerful person. But like one of the like fundamental things to his character, in contrast to Saruman and other people, and Sauron, is he's humble and he is concerned. for the people who aren't as powerful as he
So he
is.
is like
That's
Jesus.
definitely like Jesus.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, right? If you're a Christian writing something and you want to show off somebody who is good, how do you do it? Well, you just do it by showing them doing good things.
Yeah.
Is caring for people who are insignificant. The Hobbit kids, like he's just there. He's there to entertain them. The hobbits as a whole. And there is like a secret danger to him. Gandalf is kind of weird because the note I had on him is like he's both a comfort and a curse.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he comes around, he's there for a reason. And that's probably not going to be a comfortable reason.
Yeah.
But at least he's there.
Yeah, that isn't true for the hobbits most of the time.
Yes.
As far as like the time in the Shire goes.
Yeah.
But like in Rohan, they're gonna say, whenever you show up, bad things happen.
Yeah.
So
well,
that's definitely true.
arguably, the notable times Gandalf has shown up, he came and saw Bilbo, and then Bilbo was gone for a year, and then came back weird.
Fair enough.
Right, and that's been something that impacted all of Hobbiton, especially here when everybody's invited, and then they see Gandalf magically disappear this man from in front of their eyes, and so even so, like he's not actually causing any distress. But the hobbits think he causes distress. Yes. He's causing their version.
That's going to be the big takeaway.
Even though it's
when we go into
them.
chapter 2.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not a big fan of this Gandalf guy.
So it's very interesting. I'm glad he's there, but also the fact that he is there is like nerve wracking. It's kind of like, I mean, when you see God interact with people, or when you see angels interact with people, which is probably a closer parallel to what Gandalf actually is. Like, okay, I'm glad the angel is there, but also that probably means something is about to happen that I don't necessarily like.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like, we read about a lot of, like, mundane times Gandalf comes just to, like, have a humble, happy time.
Yeah.
But, the narrative is more concerned with the things that are going somewhere.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily one, though. Gandalf will explain more about this in his actions in chapter 2. But
I say I haven't read chapter 2.
You know that you'll
I know
more
that
about
I will
it.
maybe agree with you eventually.
But Gandalf here doesn't have any specific grand purpose. It becomes something where he is trying to help Bilbo stick with what he's committed to. That's kind of
I don't know if that was his purpose or if that ended up being purpose.
I think not told specifically. I think it's something he adapts to.
Because he was going to stay a long time.
This is an event he would be at no matter what. It turns out there's an important reason.
Yeah, and it does say in the last dialogue with Frodo, I was planning to stay another week, but now I can't. Like something has arisen, and I think it's a reference to what he saw in Bilbo.
Definitely.
So I don't know that. I don't think he showed up because of the ring, but because the ring being there affects what he's about to do.
That's exactly
which
right.
Is abandon Frodo for all intents and purposes.
I'll keep 2 eyes on him as often as I can. I gotta leave.
17 years later, right? And so there's like this tension. He's supposed to be there. He's not there. He is there. There's like a threat. It's not it's not a tangible threat. There's no bad villain who's
just
there.
A whisper of evil at this point.
Yes. Yeah. And him being present brings out the worst in Bilbo. You could argue
Gandalf
yeah, because
I would argue with that.
Yeah, Gandalf says, put the ring down, and Bilbo says no, and that's when Bilbo starts referencing Gollum and being like, if Gandalf wasn't
that's
there,
at the end of the chapter?
Yes.
Do you have anything? I have some more to say about
there's so much to say. There are...
Maybe I should have... Maybe we should have talked about it then. I don't know.
Oh...
Do we want to
We'll talk about Gandalf and Bilbo in just a minute.
I have some thoughts for sure.
Cool.
And you clearly do as well.
I just have brief idea. It's good for Bilbo that Gandalf is there.
Okay, yeah.
I would agree with that. It's because Gandalf is there that Bilbo has a strong reaction, and there becomes a point of tension because he's there, trying to help. Let's just go ahead and talk.
Yeah, let's just talk about it. It is I feel like that's just it's a very psychological sort of thing.
Yeah.
Psychological spiritual even,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Spiritual things.
you can
Am I Lord of the Rings?
you can pretend that you're fine and good if you're not confronted by things.
Yeah.
But if you have a friend who says, "Don't do this. You're doing something stupid," then okay, if someone tells that to me, I'm going to have a strong reaction, especially if I'm being blindsided by that.
Yeah.
Which Bilbo feels blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're my friend. What are you telling me to get rid of this precious thing to me? So Gandalf isn't like creating bad things in Bilbo, but he's exposing Bilbo to these bad things.
True.
And that's the place Bilbo arrives at. He says, he passes his hand over his eyes, says, why was I acting that way?
Yeah.
He didn't know that was inside him, but Gandalf has made him aware of that in a very uncomfortable way, in a way that was good for him.
Which is good. Yeah, I mean, Gandalf is ultimately acting for Bilbo's salvation.
I'm not trying to rob you. I'm trying to help you.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so you have, like, that's a beautiful picture of what Gandalf is doing. It is good. It was also good for Gandalf to get Bilbo out of his comfort zone back in The Hobbit.
Yes.
Right. But people will look at that and construe that as bad because it's not according to the norm.
Yeah.
Like, he's
like,
not.
He should stay at home and.
Yeah. He's not letting Bilbo do whatever Bilbo wants to do.
Yes.
He's pushing Bilbo to be a good person.
Yeah.
And actually, like, get out and do something worthwhile.
Now that's spiritual.
Which is fantastic. I love
it.
Gandalf.
It is.
So, Gandalf is great. I love that Gandalf's there. Him being there raises problems that Bilbo wouldn't have had otherwise, or wouldn't have addressed otherwise.
Yeah. Like short-term problems that lead to
long-term
beautiful solutions.
Yeah. So it is great that Gandalf is there.
Yeah.
I like Gandalf a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf is cool. Also, he lights off fireworks. So back to the party that we're supposed to be talking about.
Okay.
There are 12 dozens of people.
Yes. One gross. 144.
Even. 144. That seems like it's important. There's something about that number which is important. It's 12 square.
Yeah, yeah.
It is apparently the 12th Fibonacci number.
What?
Yeah. 144 is apparently the 12th Fibonacci number.
What's the Fibonacci number?
The Fibonacci number?
I don't know.
Bro, it's like it's this weird math thing. Basically it's really hard to explain without the Wikipedia article on it that I looked up did not help me, except for the picture of it. The picture of it helped me. It's like you have 1, and then the second number is also 1, but then the third number is 2, but then the fourth number is 3. Because you add together the last
0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Or 1, 2, 3, rather.
0, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh.
And then 8. You add together the last 2 numbers of the sequence that's come together. And those 2 numbers create your new number. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8.
I've never heard of this.
Yes. Well, it's the point of
but
that
the
is
12th one is
the 12th
144.
Yeah. And so it's 12 times 12. It's the 12th Fibonacci. Like, it's significant. And I think, God uses a picture of 144,000 specifically to be a kind of representative completion.
Yeah.
There are 12 dozens, and then it's referenced even later on that there are 144 of you because Bilbo and Frodo together are 144 years, which is like it's that idea of completeness. We have reached a completion. We can no longer continue. And there's this inevitability.
It is the end of this story. It's filled up. Okay.
Yeah. There has been a time for that, and there's a time for moving on. Bilbo's finally become of age, or Frodo's finally become of age.
Yes.
There is like a sense of kind of inevitable dread that this isn't ending. And it's something that Frodo feels. It's something that Bilbo knows is happening. It's something that everybody who's aware can kind of grasp it as like, okay, we can't go any further with this. So I don't know exactly what symbology there is there, but I think there's something.
I think saying it is completeness is probably sufficient.
Yeah. Well, actually, it means the 144 that Bilbo decided to save. Oh, my. Misinterpretations of Revelation plus misinterpretations of Lord of the Rings.
It's
What
almost
a
too much for
glorious
my poor
time.
heart.
Oh, that's okay. We can go even further. Yeah, there's an end of their time together. There's an end of Frodo's childhood. There's an end of Bilbo's being in the Shire. There's an end of a real Baggins being in Bag End, because there was a whole, there's always been a Baggins, and Bag End is something, is a thing. But now there isn't, because Frodo's like half of one. He keeps being called the Brandy Buck. He gets
Yes.
kind of slurred at the end of the chapter.
That was an insult, if you like.
Yeah.
And so, of course, not true.
Yeah, it was a compliment, and so of course not true.
Yeah.
Mary said. But yeah, it's like there's so many things that are ending right there, and even there's this temptation for Frodo to go with Bilbo and try to prolong it, but you shouldn't prolong stuff when it's coming to an end. Naturally, nature has its course, so it's okay to say goodbye to something. There's a time to let things pass.
It's not very fun to do.
It's not. But there's a sobriety to Bilbo's thinking in all of this process, that he's settled on this, and it's sorrowful for him and everybody else, but it has to be done. He's not going to extend nature. He did it for his lifespan. Probably not great. Not great for him. He's not going to do it with Frodo as well. So in that sense, Frodo remains untainted.
That's interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know that Tolkien had that in mind when he wrote it, but it's curious. He picked the numbers.
These relational dynamics
for a reason.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
It is a growing up moment, and it's super clearly like hammered home with, okay, I'm not going to be in charge here anymore. You are now.
And whether it's one of those things where, like, if he thought of it, then that's cool. If he didn't think of it and it just happens that can make sense, then that's also cool.
Yeah. It's just a reflection of... Yeah.
He's cared about this story when he wrote it.
Yeah.
Like, he put some thought into this. So, I think it's cool.
It is.
And even when Bilbo gives his speech, insults everybody, and then leaves...
Oh my goodness! I had this memorized for a second, or not for a second, for a while, but I don't remember it.
Even while this is going on, when Frodo sees it, he's almost wanting to laugh at all the reactions, but also he's sorrowful because he knows that it's over. Like, he knows that was the finale, and that there is no more Bilbo after that. And it's just driven home when he gets home slightly too late to see Bilbo off.
Yes.
It says Bilbo was never seen by another Hobbit in Hobbiton again.
Yeah.
And so there's just this
pretty
it's just
dramatic end. We were talking about this earlier. It's impressive how we're introduced to this happy, almost whimsical little land.
Yeah.
Again, most fantastic thing introduced in the prologue is that these people don't kill each other. They're pleasant enough.
Yeah.
They're certainly not perfect.
No.
But it's a whimsy little land, and Tolkien's already making us nostalgic about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, things are already changing.
Mm-hmm.
Things aren't going to be the same anymore. Because even Bilbo represents like the more whimsical storytelling in The Hobbit, and this isn't his story. He's out in the first chapter.
Yeah. Not without difficulty, right? Because there's the whole Gandalf Bilbo confrontation afterwards. Did you have something else that you were looking at from earlier?
Let me see here. It's all for the end of the chapter.
Yeah. So you have themes that Bilbo brings up, like, I can't do this anymore. I'm stretched out. Like, I'm old. It's time for me to move on. Succumbing to nature at the same time, trying to keep the ring with him, so trying to resist the call of nature, and then not succeeding. Gandalf comes in. But even from the beginning, you have the picture that Gandalf doesn't want to touch the ring.
Yes.
He ends up doing so very briefly to get it out of Bilbo's hand, but he will not, like, hold on to it himself.
Don't give it to me.
Yes. And of course, I'm sure we'll see that more later as to why that ends up being a problem, or why that could be a problem.
There's so much that's set up so well. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
There's even a couple neat allusions. Very clear one, very blatant one is Bilbo calling the ring my precious, which is something that's even brought out in the story through Gandalf. I was like, you're not the first person to call it that. Like, what are you doing, man? But even Bilbo's like self-rationalization. He's like, after all, why shouldn't I take it? It's very much like what we're going to see at the end of the book with Boromir. Wait, why shouldn't I take the ring? It's kind of like almost the last thing you do before doom.
Yeah.
But here Gandalf's like, no. And the communication between characters is something I find very fascinating in this book. You have just beautiful and sort of toxic sometimes hobbit dialogue.
Yeah.
Usually it's very pleasant.
Occasionally, yeah.
But or at least innocent, you know. People aren't really nefarious with what they're saying. But Gandalf and Bilbo, Gandalf is using all these different rhetorical devices and techniques trying to get Bilbo. He just straight up threatens him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
You know,
You will
sometimes
see
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gandalf the Grey uncloaked if you keep being a little jerk. So it's interesting that we see Gandalf as being this nice, humble dude. He's also willing to just straight up threaten his friend.
Beat up an old man.
Yeah.
He's
the
an old
older
man
though.
who's a third of his size.
Yeah.
Not even half his size. So it's interesting. So you bring up Boromir.
Yeah.
Right? And spoiler alert, Gandalf does not make it to the Boromir section.
Yeah.
I wonder if Gandalf was there, would he have talked sense into Boromir?
A lot of things would have been different if he was there. We're not going to be able to unpack Boromir until like a couple chapters into Two Towers, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's where Gandalf actually weighs in on that situation retroactively.
Okay, interesting. I do not remember that at all.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. But I wonder.
But at the very least, and most of the conversation will be the end of this book, of course.
Yeah, and there's also Frodo, right? Because Bilbo heavily foreshadows Frodo. He makes the same arguments like, why should I throw this away? It's just Frodo gets to the actual brink of doom before he.
Well, that wasn't on purpose, huh?
No.
That's funny.
Before he
exactly right.
turns around, and it's really not even him who turns it around.
No.
At the end.
And that is.
And so
that's probably worth talking at length about.
Yeah.
Because that's really an important point Tolkien's making. Yeah.
You see the value of friendship. I mean, that's going to be so emphasized.
And Bilbo and
books.
Gandalf is still, their friendship is maintained, even though I don't think Gandalf enjoyed doing that.
No.
Bilbo certainly didn't.
No, he did not.
I wouldn't enjoy being on either side of this, like being in Bilbo's shoes or Gandalf's.
Yeah.
But it was important that he did that.
But friends don't let friends take the ring, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so you have that picture of friendship, which is going to be so important. Gandalf's just great. But Gandalf wasn't there to help Frodo at the end either.
Yeah.
Which, two eyes as often as I can spare them, ages really poorly for Gandalf.
Yeah, well, he does pretty well at first.
He does for the first half of book one.
Yeah.
And then he runs into some trouble. But I wonder how much would have changed if Gandalf was actually in Mount Doom with Frodo. Yeah. How much would have changed if Gandalf was
so much
there to talk Boromir down?
It would have been easier.
There is value in having a wizard on your side. And also having friends, that's pretty cool.
So the main takeaway is, have friends, be a true friend.
Yeah.
It's much better if you have a wizard friend, but
sometimes you can yell at people, and sometimes that's okay.
Yes.
That's
he's doing it because he loves Bilbo.
That's pretty important. Do you have any other thoughts on Gandalf and Bilbo hanging out?
Ooh. It is very wholesome how Bilbo departs.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel better right away.
Which is nice.
There are these very over the top theatrical bits, and you can tell the ring has a grip on Bilbo. But he's still a good guy. And it's really neat scene. It's an instant payoff. Gandalf confronts Bilbo. Bilbo recognizes what Gandalf is saying.
Yeah.
And he's instantly better because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I also like he does the poem, "The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can, pursuing it with eager feet, till it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then? Cannot say." This is sort of a repeat thing for Bilbo. It's like, I'm going on the road again. Who knows? I'm going to travel around. I have sort of plans. I want to see mountains again. I want to see elves again. But who knows exactly what. He spends at least a decade, or close to a decade or something, going around these different places before winding up at Rivendell. But this is for Tolkien's including this for Frodo. It's like, ooh, who knows where you're gonna go?
Yeah.
It's like dangerous business going out your front door. Who knows? That's something Frodo is gonna say later. It's Tolkien is not subtle with, hey, leaving behind what you know is hard, but it's important, and you're not gonna know what's gonna happen, but you still have to.
Okay.
You still have to follow the road.
Yeah. You got things you need to do, and really the hobbits, right? Maybe with some of the things that Bilbo points out in the gifts he gives, criticizing people.
That's one of the funniest parts.
It is very funny. It's very pointed.
Yes,
it is very funny. I mean, one of the points that's raised there is you can't just do what everybody else. You can't just be complacent, which is very biblical. Like, you can't just sit there and not do anything. You got to go and pursue that which is righteous and good. It's back to the theme. The hobbits wouldn't do that. They settled down. They made it easy on themselves. Gandalf comes in as an agent of the gods to stir Bilbo up to go do something, and then Bilbo comes back and kind of gets complacent again, in large part because now he has the ring, which enables him to do all sorts of stuff in the Shire. Prank people, ignore family, all the good stuff.
Get
and
pranked.
Then eventually he gives that up, and then he goes out and does something. And it's like, as soon as he gives away that temptation, he's free to leave his door.
That's
he's free
true.
to go
That's the
on
final
the
step
adventure.
of freedom for him.
So it's back to the picture of, you need to go do something.
You were complaining a little bit.
Absolutely.
Last episode,
probably
with I was spoiled that Merry, Pippin, Sam, all our hobbits survive.
Yeah,
and they become these. But also mentioned in the prologue is the fact that there are these different leaders.
Yeah,
but that happens because they are willing to leave,
mm-hmm.
or not. They didn't know what they were getting into.
No,
but it happens because they left the Shire.
Yeah,
it's very hard. But they become better because of it.
They leave the Shire. They also volunteer to keep going.
They do keep going.
Point in their favor.
They
didn't mean to do it.
Various amounts of agency throughout it, but ultimately it is their choice.
They're cool. From what I remember, they're cool.
From
the movies, they're cool.
They're very cool.
I assume that they're also in the books too. Do you have anything to say on the pointed gifts of Bilbo?
It's just really funny.
Okay, it's interesting. When Jesus says, like, get the log out of your eye before you point out the speck in others. That's kind of how it reads to me, because Bilbo has this massive problem.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
I love this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna listen now.
Yeah, this is a great idea. He has so much in him that is messed up and that is wrong, that is obsessed with this ring that he shouldn't have, that is obsessed with, ignoring nature or whatever it is. He is trying to dodge consequences for his actions, but then he gives a bunch of gifts to people so that they can't dodge consequences for their actions. A man does not respond to letters. Well, now you don't have an excuse to not respond to letters.
Yeah.
Or a woman thinks that she looks good. Well, now you have a mirror that makes you look fat. So now you can't, now you ignore that, and now you go out and do something. It's like he's pushing people to do stuff.
He's making them uncomfortable.
Yes.
So they confront their flaws.
Yes. but he has refused to do that until Gandalf points it out to him.
Yeah, and he even says maybe he didn't grasp the full implications of it, but as you say, it seems very much like something Tolkien was thinking about.
Yeah.
Bilbo says at the very least he's been giving away all these gifts so it'd be easier to give the ring away.
Yeah.
And maybe there's pointed corrections of people. I kind of get the sense that he didn't mean for that to apply to him, but it definitely does. I think I didn't pick up on that, but I'm glad you did.
He is nice to the elderly.
Yes.
He's nice to those he respects and to people who deal nicely with him. But he also, he has no problem pointing out other people's problems.
Yeah, it's because he's 111.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he's reached that age. So it's just interesting, an interesting point of characterization for him.
Yeah.
Same thing with kind of the end point of it, in where the chapter ends. Gandalf and Frodo have the conversation, and that's where in chapter 1 they address the retcon of the Gollum thing.
They do mention it here.
Yeah, because it comes up at the very end of the chapter again that Bilbo altered his telling of the Hobbit. Frodo says Gandalf made Bilbo tell Gandalf, and so Bilbo went ahead and told Frodo as well.
That's right. That's right.
And so you have that picture, like he knew that something was wrong about how that encounter went, but he hid the truth. And so, like, even in that one reason that is such an effective way of retconning something is it shows you who Bilbo is, which is he's usually righteous, he's usually truthful, but he's not, which means he knows the ring is bad, but he doesn't want to admit it. And that comes out in the gifts, that comes out in the party, that comes out in just how he's interacting with people.
It makes me interesting. Makes me think, like, the flaws that are probably, like, the flaws, sins, these dangers in our lives that are the most dangerous for us are probably the things that we're least aware of.
Yep.
That's not always the case.
Yep.
But
it's often the case.
And you can see that Bilbo is like, he's not aware that the ring is such a huge danger for him.
Yeah.
Not physically, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It's making him better physically.
It's making him look better physically.
Well, yeah. Like, if you're just measuring things physically.
Yeah.
This keep the ring, man, is great. You even get superpowers with it, you know? But it's not good for him. Like, I think we'll say spiritually.
Mentally.
Even mentally.
Yeah, anything on the inside.
Yeah, on the inside, it's terrible for him. Mm-hmm. But he's not aware of it. It's a blind spot for him.
Yeah.
And that's why we need other people. You've mentioned this at length and probably sufficiently. But that's why we need friends. And we need people willing to say hard things to us.
Yeah.
Because Bilbo wasn't going to notice that by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what my earlier line about how Bilbo is like kind of bad or like doesn't treat the hobbits very well. That's what I'm referring to. Is
that hypocrisy, that tension between pointing out specks while having a log in his own eye.
He's right.
Yeah,
but he's also missing.
He hasn't got the
himself.
Log out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair point.
It's very interesting. I was not expecting that to happen from Bilbo, but as I'm reading this and actually like trying to pay attention,
well, it's interesting too because
as a more mature individual,
like we already noticed, it's good he's doing that. Maybe there's like a gentler or better way to do it, but if you boil it down, he's like, that's a good thing. He's like, hey, reply to letters, man.
Taking away excuses.
Stop being vain. Yeah. But it's so human.
But also,
it's like missing that he needs to do the same thing.
Yeah, you can fix everybody else, but Bilbo is all set to break his own promise. He promised to leave everything to Frodo, and yet he's walking out with the ring. Like, he's going to break his word again. He has a problem with dishonesty when you talk about the ring, and here he is lying, trying to get away from it. Oh, it's there on the mantle. Oh, well, it's not actually, but oh well, right? And and so you see those problems manifest themselves.
The way we could talk about this for too long, but
ahead.
The way that Tolkien shows Bilbo justifying the whole situation is very uncomfortable.
It's very
because
human.
It's very real.
Yeah,
like I've been there. It's like, even if I don't say it out loud, it's like, oh, Bilbo's dumb. Look what he's saying out loud. It's like I say that stuff in my head.
Yeah,
like Oh, well, it was already in my pocket. It's fine, I guess. After all, why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Which is a great meme
it's
and a
insidious,
great life lesson.
but
Yeah.
yeah, great life lesson. Very human, very relatable.
Some good memes are very
Yeah.
good. Not all of them.
No.
But some of them. So it's powerful. I mean, Tolkien demonstrates an understanding of human nature
Yes.
that a lot of people don't, especially like a lot of modern writers either don't understand human nature or don't want to understand human nature. And there's there's so much avoidance, which is exactly what Bilbo is doing.
Yeah.
But Tolkien doesn't let him get away with it.
No.
Or rather, Tolkien puts it in the mouth of the wise mentor figure of Gandalf that Bilbo shouldn't be able to get away. And so he's not afraid for his characters to have problems. He's also not afraid to provide the solution and to see the resolution.
There's something sort of sad about seeing our happy hero from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And he's the huge point of this first chapter is, hey, he's flawed. This thing you think he said, he lied about it. But you're about to say subverting expectations.
I was about to say something. No, you go ahead.
But Tolkien isn't just like trashing on Bilbo. He's like, it's just saying the stage for like this is a more realistic kind of story. It's like, here's some flaws. Like he's a good guy, but he's not a perfect guy. Yeah.
Which, taking it to modern media for a moment, Rise of Skywalker, or Last Jedi.
Okay, yeah. I was
Luke
say,
Skywalker.
You haven't seen.
I have not seen Rise of
the Rise of
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
We should watch that.
No,
we would love it. One of the complaints in that is
Last
Luke is
Jedi.
not who he was.
Yes.
Which is valid. He's not. It's also valid to say, hey, sometimes your heroes are not who you think they are. Right? So there is a danger in over glamorizing
that is
any
true.
Particular individual.
Yeah.
Not going to go further. I don't really know.
No, I think
I flip back and forth on whether Star Wars did that well.
All I will say is, even if it was handled much better, I'd be very sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the short thing for me is I don't think it was handled very well even so.
Fair enough. Totally valid.
But no, that's a good point.
But it's the same principle as Bilbo 60 years later is not the plucky, happy-go-lucky guy. He is a washed-up addict on the ring, and that's what it's done to him. And so it's nice. I think maybe part of the reason it's much more palatable here is because he does turn the corner. He does reject it, and he does go back to being the happy guy who's wanting to go out of his door, who's singing the songs, who's accompanying the dwarves. He goes right back to what he was.
Thing.
And so there's peace, and it's also not dragged out over 2.5 hours before it happens. There's resolution within the first few minutes.
Quick resolution.
So handled very well here, maybe not so well in other places, but it's not necessarily a bad storytelling device. It's just it depends on how you put it.
That's true. Yeah, there's danger to idolizing people.
Yeah. And you can point
but
that
Tolkien's
out.
amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. His books are definitely not overlong and over detailed.
No,
definitely not.
That's a problem I have. I love Tolkien so much. I don't think it's too long.
Yeah. Which for what he's doing, probably not.
Probably
it's
not.
just I don't always like what he's
Yeah, hey.
That's fair enough. Yeah. He's telling me not to like it. Okay, he would write me an angry letter because he wouldn't like anything that I write anyway. So. One last thing that I have in this chapter is the Saxful Bagginsies come and say hello to Frodo. Frodo wants to hide, he doesn't, which is great. He has not reached the Bilbo point, right? Bilbo would use the ring to hide from them, but Frodo does not, and so he's not as corrupted yet.
Okay.
That's one point. That's just explicitly raised in the chapter. He doesn't go there, but also the insult at the end. You're not a Baggins, you're a Brandybuck is the first. I think it's the first instance of saying you don't belong here,
Yes.
which
There's like some foreshadowing about that,
Yeah.
some little whispers during the gaffer's conversation at
absolutely.
the ivy bush.
absolutely. But that's gonna be such a key theme. It's back to the water idea, right?
I
Is
think that's right.
you don't belong here. Really, none of the hobbits belong here. But Frodo needs that lesson impressed on him, and it's fascinating because those words are given to the people who have bad reputations, and so like
Mm.
there's this internal sense where I want Lobelia to be wrong, like I want them to be incorrect. Therefore,
Interesting.
Frodo does belong here. But what you see in the last part of this chapter, in the next chapter, is Frodo actually doesn't belong here. And that's the conflict of the book. He thinks he does, but he actually doesn't. He wants to get back home, but home is not home for him.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think that starts from chapter 1.
I think I disagree about that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It ends up being true.
It ends up being true.
You would not think that they were right. But it does end up.
Yeah. She certainly doesn't intend it that way.
No. And they're not good.
No.
I don't like them. Those are two separate things, and they're
stealers.
both true.
Yeah.
They are trashy people, but like sometimes
there's a proverb
even
about
blind
being
squirrel
willing to,
finds a nut.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right.
So.
And if you listen to foolish people, you might hear something.
Yeah.
Even if you're really wise.
Apparently so. A broken clock is right twice a day, unless it's a military time clock, and then it's only right once a day.
Hey, and that's still once a day.
That's still once a day. It's rare that it happens. And so,
yeah,
I do think there's something. There's definitely the theme that Frodo is going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an inevitability of this chapter. Is Frodo cannot stay in place.
Yeah,
they just pointed out more aggressively than.
When we start getting to the next chapters,
Mm-hmm.
something we talked about here and in the prologue area, complacency is like a big deal in like the first half of the Fellowship.
Yeah. I guess we'll explore that more. Do you have anything else about chapter 1?
It's here. Frodo does feel caught between two worlds, and Tolkien's going to resolve that for him
very quickly.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go with Frodo, but Bilbo's right when he says his heart's still in the Shire.
For now.
That's where he is right now.
But as of like 1 page into chapter 2, then you skip 17 years, and he's kind of fed up with it. He's reached 50 years. He starts looking for something else. So, yeah, we'll talk about that more next time, not last. So. Okay. Sounds good. Well, hopefully that's interesting, at least. Overthinking, yes.
Definitely.
A little bit. But it's also cool. It's also there. There's something there. So hopefully that gives you something to consider. Next time, we're going to talk about, I think we're going to read chapters 2 and 3. I don't know if we're going to fit both chapters into one.
If this is anything to go by, probably not.
Probably not.
We'll see.
See. So you should read chapters 2 and 3 and reflect on those, and then we'll get something out about eventually at least chapter 2, maybe both of them. Yeah. We'll get to both of them eventually. So go ahead and read those. All right. Thanks for listening.